All right, welcome guys. Today's video we are at Kamphaeng Phet and we're going to go take a look at part of the inside of the fortress. Kamphaeng Phet literal translation is Diamond Fortress, and this is a World Heritage Site. Now I made a video a while back on the north part of it, which is the better part. It's the bigger part, has some of the cooler ruins. But down here, this is the southern part, and this is down by the river itself, and there's some cool things to see here also. There's the museum, and then there are some temples. So let's go inside here and let's take a look. So the museum is over there on the other side. Those are the bathrooms. And then here is the ticket gate. So it's 100 baht to get in here. Now you can buy a package for 150 if you want to see both sections. Now it's 100 baht for a foreigner, and I think it's like 20 baht for a Thai. So this is a cavernous space here. So you can see some of the bases over there of some of the temples. And then we'll look at this one up ahead here. The city wall and everything is out there, and I did a video on some of the fortifications also in this area. This city was an outpost for the Sukhothai kingdom, and it was also part of an outpost for Ayutthaya when it took over as the prominent city in Siam at the time, which is now Thailand. So this was used here to defend, Sukhothai itself from invaders, and most of the time that was the Burmese. So this is Wat Phra That. There's not a whole lot left here, just one little hall. You can see it's down to the base, has a couple of little pillars for the inside, and then that would have been where the Buddha's, the little altar where the Buddha would have been up on the throne. So this is Wat Phra That. This is fantastic. You can see the little chetties here. It has the outer wall, and then right over here this would have been an arched gateway that would have kind of came up to a point. That's pretty common looking here in Kamphaeng Phet. You can see here, so this would have been a Wehan, and then it has the central chetty. So this is the entrance on the east side, and this Wehan would have been facing to the east, and the Buddha would have been facing towards the rising sun. And that chetty there is in pretty bad shape. The center one is fantastic, as well as this one here on the southeast corner. And let's look up here. This is down pretty much to the base. There's not a whole lot to see in here. You can see how it was constructed though out of these big stones. And they quarried these from the north here. Inside the north part is the quarry that they used to gather up these stones. So when they can source them locally, it made it easier to build all these. But still, these were nothing but work to build these. The big stones they had to haul in by elephant. You can see they have some of the plaster work at the base of where that Buddha was at. And you can see just basically the bottom of the Buddha. And then they would have had a little porch here that would have had a standing Buddha. It would have been pretty nice. And then it has a little courtyard around this center chetty. And you can see some of the molding is still on that chetty. And they would have had figures seated all around. And this looks like it would have been a covered walkway. Oh, this would have been nice. So the people could walk around it during their ceremonies. And you can see these big stones here. These would have been hauled in by elephant. Elephants were really important for beasts of burden for construction. And you can see it would have had that little spire up at the top. Looks like the very top is missing, but it would have been a bell shaped, and then they would have had the lotus flowers around there. You can see the outer wall. So they would have done something on the corners that would have been a little bit more substantial. Probably have like an image or something like that staying there also. A lot of these you see lions and elephants at a lot of these ruins. We have a small little building over there. And then this is the one that really gets your eye. We'll see it here in a sec. This is a pretty substantial hall. Looks like the wall, or the base, is about 2 meters high. And then inside, you can see what looks like kind of the body of a Buddha. I'm not sure how it was constructed here. These blocks are just kind of tossed around up on the top here. And then down here would have probably been covered. These would have maybe been some stairs here. Yeah, you can see the body of it. Have some squirrels jumping around up there on that tree. And then right behind it, looks like 3 chetties. Well, 4, there's 2 right there. And then this would have been covered. And then here is the wall for the next temple. And we'll take a look at it now. It's pretty cool looking. You can see the figure of the Buddha right there on this big hall. Just give you an idea how massive this building is. So that's the entrance. Then they had all of this. That was all covered in a building. And then they had another, not sure if that's the base of a chetty right behind there. And then another chetty and another chetty and the wall. It just is unbelievable. And we have one tourist here. So this is what I was wanting to see. Wat Phra Kaeo. So this right here is where that Buddha is that's sitting, that guy was walking around. That's the Wee hand. And then we have the main chetty, and then this right over here is a moon drop. And then we have a reclining Buddha and a seated Buddha that was over behind there. So that's very interesting. So we'll come back and look over there. But I wanted to get a good look at this chetty and then the seated and reclining Buddha images right up here. So this would have been a moon drop. So this would have been a covered building. And I'm not sure what would have been inside of there. If it would have been like the one that's in the other section of Kamphaeng Phet has 4 images in the different directions. A seated, a reclining, a standing, and a walking Buddha. Now look at this. So they have the base of this with the elephants. Oh, that is fantastic. And then right up there, looks like some of the naga around those little like lotus doorways. And then you can see some of the images inside of it. And then they have the lotus flowers up there. And that would have went up to the spire. Oh, this is fantastic right here. Yeah, there's not much that's left of the elephants, but that's still really cool. And then this looks like part of the spire, and then a base of one of the buildings and some other little chetties. And then we had like a little shrine here, and then look at that. Oh, that's awesome. So you got the reclining Buddha sitting in front of the 2 seated Buddhas. Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, this has to be one of the best things I've seen all day right here. Oh, that is fantastic. So you have the Buddhas with their eyes looking down, and they're in fantastic shape. So they've been restored pretty recently. And then you have a couple of these other little figures. So it's hard to say how old these are here. That's the top of, I'm not sure if that's one of these little chetties or if it's maybe the top of the, no, it's not the top of the Buddha's head. Ah, but that is fantastic. You can see down there, his toes are mostly missing, but it's the same stones that they used to build all the buildings. And then they carved it and put the plaster over the top of it. And then you have some more seated Buddhas all out here in the trees. Ah, this is great. And then some chetties all back there. And then you had this little walkway that had all these Buddha images. And you can see they're the same, that laterite stone that they quarried here. And you can see how they carved it. So his hands just barely visible. That whole arm is gone over there. But that is fantastic. Oh, and they even had like little Buddha images around the base of that. Oh, that's neat. So I think maybe what that one over there, it's not the top knot, it's maybe the top spire off of this one that's right back here. You can see the rolls of the hair. Oh, that is great. Now, what they did is they carved this out of the different stone, and then they used the mortar to put, the mortar is his neck. Oh, that's great. And then you have just parts random kind of tossed around here that they haven't done anything with. And then this other building over here. This is just another little hall that's down to the base. Oh, and look at that. Oh, all right. So this has definitely been reconstructed, but if this is what they look like originally, that is fantastic. So this is the feet of a huge standing Buddha that have been standing right in front of this Chedi. And this is what I got excited about. Look at that. Oh, wow. That is awesome. So they definitely have restored this, but if this is what they all look like, and there would have been coming out of the base of this Chedi, and what that represents is it's the elephants carrying the weight of the world. And you can see how that's built. Now the ties will go underneath these, and they'll do it 3 times, and it's for fortune. So here it is right there on the corner, and they've restored these here also. And just look at that. They even have like the nostrils, everything in the trunk, the little details, the eyes, the ears. Oh, this is great. This is the kind of stuff that I travel for, so I can see things like this. This is so cool. It's the little things in life that gets me excited, I guess. And here's the top of one of the spires. And then we have some more of the buildings out here that are really not noteworthy, just, 600-year-old buildings laying out here in the jungle. Just more like 600-year-old stuff that's just kind of whatever. That's how cool all of this is you just take all this for granted. There's so much history that goes into places like this. And all the work, just the human effort alone. Look at the size of this stone here that's in the base of this Chedi. So they would have quarried that, then they would have hauled it in with the elephants, then they would have trimmed it to fit, and they would have just, all those stonemasons would have just done this work. They'd have worked on this their whole lives. Just absolutely amazing. Let's go up here and look at this Chedi. Then we'll go over there and look at some of the other stuff. So I'm not sure how big the base is. Looks like it's about 20 meters or so. And then you can see here some of the plaster that's fallen off from up around the top. I don't know if this was a spire shaped, the onion dome up on the top, how it was constructed. There's not a whole lot left here. Just the big, huge stones. And they're in the square base. And then you can see all the different stairs. There would have been a rail around here. And then you could have climbed up to see the relic right up there. There would have probably been like an arch right there. You can see more of the plaster work. Not a whole lot left to it. It's in really bad shape. And let's look at that Buddha up there on that other building. And this is a great view. So you can see that Chedi, that other little Chedi, this building here. So there would have been a Buddha probably sitting right there on that. And then this Buddha, what's left of it. And then looking over there, those other Chedis and the other buildings. And there would have been stuff all around here, but it's all gone. There would have been monk quarters. There would have been houses, businesses, but they were all made out of wood, and the jungle just destroys the wood. Termites, they decompose. They don't last, 20 years and they're completely gone, which is a shame because the Thai architecture of the houses would have been quite amazing to see. And you can see here how this is built. This is great. You can see the patch that they've done and that mortar right below his head on his neck. And there would have been more little shrine stuff down here on the bottom. Yeah, this was just a gigantic complex. Now I read somewhere that this might be like a part of a palace also. I'm not sure if that's true or not. I'll put as much information into it as I can in the description so you can read about it. You can see the perimeter wall of this temple. Yeah, this is great. All right, guys, so that's going to finish up our video over here at the southern section of the Kamphaeng Phet city. And you can check out, I'll pin a comment about the northern section. The northern section has a lot more ruins. This one's quite a bit smaller, but it is over here with the museum. And these ruins are in better shape here, especially with the like the elephants and the seated and reclining Buddha. Those are fantastic. This is unbelievable. Definitely worth the price of admission. It's 100 baht, $3. Come in here and check this out. So I've enjoyed it. This is really, really fun. It's not overly huge. You know, you can come over here and spend like an hour, 2 hours, and there's other things to see after you get done here. Plus there's things to go, and you can get something to eat or whatever from here. You can look at the city wall, and it's pretty easy to get to. So definitely come over here and check it out if you're in this area. I would recommend it. I've enjoyed this immensely. So if you have, also make sure you smash the like button, and definitely leave me a comment. Tell me what you think, if you've been here or if this is on your list. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer them. And definitely subscribe if you're new here. That's what I do. I show you things that I see, tell you a little bit about what I know, and if you enjoy that, then stick around and you're notified when I put a new video up. And from over here at Kamphaeng Phet, remember guys, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.